Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. So today we're going to talk to you about pretty much everything you need to know about winch controllers and winches for your RC trucks. So, I've been having some fun learning myself, and I think I pretty much got her nailed now. Okay, so my first winch I bought was actually this little small red guy here on the HSP truck, and I bought it for the TRX because of course I got the TRX before the HSP, and at the time it didn't seem too shabby. Okay, it's definitely not going to deadlift the truck even with stock, you know, completely stock truck. It's just too heavy for it. So you do have to assist with a winch, which is normal. We know this, right? And it should work just dandy for you. Although it is kind of a bit of a pain to try and control your winch in your truck at the same time and steer. But whatever, you get used to it eventually. However, I start metallizing this beauty, and I got this big bumper, and look at the winch! I need a bigger winch. But I also need a bigger winch too. Well, wanted a bigger winch, but also needed, because this beast is over 10 pounds now without a battery, and I'm still not done with metal upgrades. Okay? So I wanted a more powerful winch in the end, so that's what I did. I bought the big bad boy from RC4W Drive. It cost me like 140 bucks, okay, Canadian. And I thought, all right, cool. So I got these Chinese winch controllers. I ordered one in from Winch, and originally it was for this thing, right? And of course it seemed okay at the time, other than the fact that it kept killing batteries, because even the original battery showed up DOA in this radio, or transmitter, and had some issues, went through a whack load of batteries, cleaning processes with contact cleaner, regular stuff, which you, by the way, shouldn't really use. It doesn't leave a lubricant behind. So I've got some deoxit stuff that does. And I even tried that. Now, even the regular contact cleaner did make an improvement. I got more time out of the battery before it puked. And the deoxit gave me about a week. And I was like, woohoo, problem solved. Nope, darn it. So anyways, Wish refunds me because this is definitely defective. The receiver was fine, transmitter, no good. So I ordered one in from Banggood, figuring, all right, cool. We'll put the one in from Banggood. Seemed to work fine. But of course, it's going to stall pretty easy because this is a heavy truck, right? And so when I got the HSP, I moved the winch into the HSP truck, and then I got the bad boy. So then, of course, I needed another controller. Ordered another one in from Banggood. Now, any of the ones I got from Banggood came with perfect batteries, no problems with them. I even voltage tested them. They're all good. So it's like, okay, so what happened with this? We still have no idea. Maybe I'll figure it out someday. But anyway, these controllers, they're marketed as 2S and 3S, and some are only marketed as 2S. So be very careful when ordering winch controllers. Whether you buy them from Banggood, from Wish, from Amazon, doesn't matter. Okay? You really got to read the specs in full to know what they will handle for voltages. Now, two of these are marked that they can handle up to 9 volt, right? Which, in technical terms, could you go to 3S? Well, according to the specs you can, and they do run on 3S, and they will run great on 3S with this little winch, but not on the big boy. Okay, big boy draws too much amperage. These things cannot handle the amperage of the Xeon winch or this winch. The two biggest bad boys out of RC4W Drive for winches, these things will not handle that kind of a draw, because they really draw a lot of amperage. Now, below the Xeon winch, you may or may not be okay, other than you will definitely be okay with this little guy and maybe one just a little bit bigger. But if you start getting into the dual motor ones, even from TFL Hobbies or from some of the other companies, you're not going to want to use these, because they're not going to handle the amperage draw of those winches. So I had thought for a moment or two that, well, maybe it's a problem with my RC4W Drive winch, because I was getting these stall outs happening trying to get my truck to hoist, eh? And even with assisting, it didn't matter. And so anyways, I got this little hookup rig that came with my winch. originally, because this is where I first started with the TRX before I got the first wireless kit. And so anyways, this was originally on this winch with this truck. And so I thought, well, let's hook this up to the RC4W drive winch and see if maybe there's a problem with my winch. You know, even rattling the wire in the back, all those testings. Okay, the winch has no issues. I pulled out all 7 foot 3 inches of line, or 7 foot 6 inches, whatever it is I got on there, and not one issue, not one hiccup with this switch. So I know for sure my winch is not where the issue is. Okay, it's not with the battery supply either, because the winch is designed for 2S or 3S, no problem. Okay. This winch, by the way, is only good for 2S only. Do not attempt to run 3S on this winch or you will cook it. Okay? So anyway, I've now ordered another winch controller system from Banggood for the HSP because I know it'll work fine with this winch. For the bad boy, I bit the bullet and I ordered this. This is the RC4W drive winch controller that will work fine with, well, any winch, okay, but especially with the Xeon winch and this big bad boy. Okay, it will work fine. Now on the back of the package they do recommend using a BEC with this because some 3S LiPo batteries put out more than 11.1 volts. Well, in all seriousness, guys, when a 3S LiPo is in storage mode, it's about 11.1 because it's not charged yet. When a battery, any battery, is fully charged, it's always higher voltage, right? It's supposed to be. That's the mathematics to it, that's the physics to it. And as soon as you start drawing on that battery, of course you drop a little bit of voltage, and then voltage recovers when you stop drawing, and so on, and back and forth until you get to a point where the battery is just going to keep on dropping, right? That's batteries, right? But they do recommend using a BEC. Now I did order in a bunch of BECs because I didn't really have an option because we have lighting on our trucks, and our Red Cats, although they're fine, even with the heavy-duty servos, their BECs and their ESCs are fine. I still want to safeguard them anyways. But I'm having some real issues with the BEC in this truck, in the HSP, running these lights, because as soon as I touch the steering wheel, the lights go funky, and it's like, it's driving me bananas, right? So it's a BEC issue. Now, I've heard about some BEC problems with the TRX, though I've not experienced any of them yet. I would still rather safeguard this one, because even to replace the ESC is not exactly cheap, because it's the XL5 high voltage ESC, and I don't really want to cook it. Although I've had no issues, I do have more and more lighting through this sucker right now, and my police light is actually going through my ESC, and my bar light and all my other lighting is actually going on a separate battery, so I don't have to worry about those. But you know, it's kind of one of those things where you really, if you're going to play with hobby grade RCs and you're going to start modding the daylights out of them with light kits and this and that and higher end servos, you really should be making sure that you can supply and feed the power to the system, and a separate BEC is a good way to do that. Now there's a lot of choices of BECs. I actually bought U-BECs, which are slightly different, and we'll get into that in another video explaining the difference between a BEC and a U-BEC. But I think going with the U-BEC, I'm going to wait until my BECs come in, U-BECs come in, then I'll install this winch kit, because I don't plan on driving the truck anyways in the next week or two. I have other things to do and other projects on the go, and so I'm not going to be able to get out and do any crawling in the next little bit anyhow. Same as my HSP truck, it's down and out until I get my suspension in, which should be in today or tomorrow, according to Canada Post. We'll see. And there's a few other things I got to do, and I'm waiting for a replacement wireless winch kit for this thing anyway, so it's down and out until I get that done, along with bumpers and so on, and you know. Anyhow, so as a quick recap, if you're going to buy these cheap winch controllers, these are about $25 to $27 to $30 a piece, depending on where you go and depending on if you're talking Canadian funds or American funds too. Big dollar difference. Use these on 2S winches, no problem. Some of these are listed as 2S only runnable, others are 2S and 3S. So buy the 2S and 3S version, then you got yourself covered no matter what, even though you might be only using a winch that can only do 2S. And the little winches can only do 2S. So you'll be well matched with these things and you shouldn't have any issues. A friend of mine has one of these wireless kits and he's got the same little winch. He's had absolutely no issues. He's had it for about 2 or 3 years now. And even his battery is still amazingly in great shape in his transmitter. He still has not had to change his battery yet. And these batteries are still going strong, so there's no problems there. Of course, they better be because they're brand new. But I've had no issues with these remotes from Banggood. Now, these are also not waterproof. I've not got my trucks wet, so I know it's not a wet issue either. Now, you can waterproof these with plastic dip, but just keep in mind you void any warranties. Same as this thing here, you know, they even tell you, you know, this, you know, if you try to waterproof this, voided warranty. So anyway, that's how she rolls. So, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I'll do the best I can to help you. But just keep in mind that the big bad boy RC4W drive winch, it's the 8000 series, the Xeon winch, definitely invest in this. This is worth, well, I paid like, what is it, 65 or 69 bucks plus tax and shipping. It hurt, but worth every penny in my books to make sure that my winch is going to be fine, and so is my gear now. But definitely on the Xeon winch and above, heavy draw winches, period. Get that kit. If you're, you know, going to use like a little 3 kilogram or 6 kilogram winch, then these things will work just fine for you and save you a lot of money. And they are good units if they're working with what they're supposed to be with. Do not, under any circumstances, use these things with the bad boy winch or the Xeon or any dual motored winch, because all your dual motor winches, like even your TFL Hobby stuff, Integy has some, I think, a few other companies I've looked at, any of them with dual motors are going to be high current drawing systems. So whether you're assisting or not makes no difference. They draw a lot of amperage that these cannot supply. Okay, so to keep that in mind. You know, even if you ran a separate battery, it doesn't matter, because you're going to be still in the same problem, right? You're drawing too much amps, that's where your problem is. That's why these cook on you. Okay, you're drawing way too many amps that these can't deliver. So anyway, now I got some transmitters that should work out fine with my replacement kit. Because I didn't see where you could order just the receiver, otherwise I would have done that probably, because I do have 2 perfect transmitters and no use for either one of them at this point, unless something happens to my new one. Well, I got some spares, and these do cross-bind, by the way. I did try binding them to the other ones while they were still functional, and they do actually cross-bind fine. So, and you can buy transmitters separate. Anyways, that's all I got for you on this subject. Stay tuned for more, especially once we get those UBECs in. I will install one first on my own, make sure I get it all done right, and then I will show you guys how to install a UBEC into your RC trucks. So in the meantime, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and learned lots. I know I've been learning a lot on the way, and I've pretty much become a winch and remote expert now, so, you know, it's kind of fun. So, thanks again, and we'll catch you later. Ciao.